Well, for the very latest, let's cross live now to Jerusalem, where our senior reporter Claire Paccalin is standing by for us. Claire, firstly, media reports that internal divisions among Hamas leaders are stalling efforts to agree a proposed hostage release deal. If it is agreed, what would such a deal look like?
Certainly, for the moment, we understand that Hamas is still studying that proposed deal. We know that they have demanded the release of Marwan Barghouti. Now, he is a big figure. He is seen by some Palestinians, many Palestinians, as their future leader. He's been in an Israeli jail now for 20 years. He was convicted of having carried out deadly attacks on Israelis during the second Intifada, but he is seen as the man who could bring together rival Palestinian groups. So his release is something that Hamas says they absolutely want. Hamas also says it wants a permanent ceasefire. That's something that Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has ruled out. So what is in the actual deal? We don't have the exact details. That is top secret for now, but we do understand it would revolve around this exchange for the remaining Israeli hostages in Gaza, as well as the bodies of those who are believed to have died in Gaza, in exchange for Palestinian prisoners and a pause in the fighting that could be up to 6 weeks. Now, of course, that does resemble the deal that we saw late last year, but the difference is this time is that we are expecting, if this deal goes through, a longer pause in the fighting. Last year it was 1 week, and more high-profile Palestinian prisoners. Back last year, the Palestinian prisoners who were released were mainly teenagers and women, and Hamas wants more high-profile ones released, including Marwan Barghouti, that possible future leader. That's how many Palestinians see him anyway.
Now, Claire, in Israel there'll be another rally later highlighting the plight of the hostages who are still being held by Hamas, but also demonstrations by those who are opposed to any deal that would see the release of Palestinian prisoners. What are we expecting?
Certainly, we are now seeing this increasing division in Israeli society. That group of family members of hostages who have been, from the very beginning, very vocal, very strong, really pushing the Israeli government to prioritize the release of their loved ones. They have basically taken over a kind of plaza in central Tel Aviv. It's become known as Hostages Plaza, and they will be demonstrating again this Saturday evening, as they do every Saturday evening, in the streets in big numbers, pressuring the Israeli government to really make the release of hostages the primary goal. We are, though, seeing this counter-demonstration gaining in force now, mostly made up of the family members of soldiers. There are some family members of hostages in there too, but it's mostly the family members of soldiers saying they don't want a deal. They see that as unpatriotic of the families of hostages to want a deal to bring back their loved ones at any cost. They think it would be dangerous for Israeli society for some Palestinian prisoners to be released, and they don't want a long-term pause in the fighting until they say Hamas needs to be eliminated. So this, of course, is pressure on the Israeli government from two different sides.
Claire, for now, thank you. That's our senior reporter, Claire Paccalin, joining us live from Jerusalem.